Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? NoZoupForYou here, and today we're going to talk about the Tier 8 Russian premium aircrafter Chkalov. Chkalov is named after Valery Chkalov, and it's kind of fitting that they name it after him because he was a pilot, a real pilot, but he died just before World War II. He was awarded the Hero of the Soviet Union for his testing efforts and just his general flying prowess. So I think it makes sense that they would name this aircraft carrier after Chkalov. Obviously, this is not a real aircraft carrier. It is a paper aircraft carrier. But if you want it, you can get it for roughly 12,000 doubloons in the premium shop, and I'm just going to kind of go into whether or not I think it's worth it. My reviews with aircraft carriers are a little bit different. They're not really like ships where I can go into all the details, or do I feel it necessary to go into all the details. You really don't need to know how fast an aircraft carrier goes. You really don't need to know its detectability in the way that you would need to know it for another ship. What I will do is I'm going to talk about the aircraft, because the aircraft are your main offensive weapon on this ship. So it's very important that you know what the aircraft can do, and whether or not the aircraft actually make this aircraft carrier a viable ship. Now, for my part, I actually enjoy this aircraft carrier. I'm not the biggest fan of aircraft carriers. I play them every so often if there's missions going on, but overall, I just really am not overly intrigued by aircraft carriers. I know a lot of players like them. Even after the rework, they're somewhat popular. So if you're one of those players that absolutely loves aircraft carriers, they're your thing, you're an aircraft carrier main, this video is probably going to be geared towards you. Now, one of the things you're going to notice right away, these aircraft take off with a speed boost right in the beginning. They've got those little boosters on the very bottom that you find on aircraft that are launched from ships like the Tone. So that is unique to this Russian aircraft carrier, and it kind of gives them a quick boost that gets them there to where they need to go just a little bit quicker. Another thing you're going to notice about these aircraft and this aircraft carrier is that there are three types of aircraft, but none of them are fighter craft. You don't have the rockets, which is kind of nice because all three of your aircraft are fairly viable offensive platforms. You have torpedo bombers, you've got dive bombers, and then you've got the nefarious skip bombers that people absolutely hate if you're on the enemy team. Another thing you need to know about Russian carriers, you're launching all your planes, and all your planes are attacking at once. They're all going to drop their torpedoes, their bombs, or whatever they have. In this case, the Chkalov has 6 planes per flight. When you drop your torps or your bombs, all 6 of them are going to launch. So, in a way, you know, that can be a good thing, that can be a bad thing. I find that the planes are reasonably strong. Now, I'm just going to kind of walk through the different squadrons that you have and touch on the key aspects that you need to know about them. Starting with the torpedo bombers, the important thing to know about these is they are not quite as fast as your usual torpedoes. So, when you drop these suckers, and when you lead enemy ships, lead a lot more than you normally would. Now, the drops itself are nice. The torpedoes fly very, well, I say fly. I should say swim. The torpedoes swim very, very close to each other, and you have the chance to absolutely wreck ships if you can get a good drop. But getting a good drop, or at least getting one that is properly aimed, can be a little hard, can be a little challenging, and it's going to take a little bit of practice. Now, moving on to the dive bombers. The dive bombers are, they're okay. Out of the 3 fighters, I probably use these the least. They're not going to be your main weapon, even against destroyers, and I'll get into that. Kind of interesting thing about this fighting destroyers, and this ship is really good at that, by the way. So keep that in mind. I mean, the dive bombers aren't that bad. I find the ability to start fires with them is only so-so. Damage on them is only so-so. I use them if I don't have anything else ready. But, of course, with this aircraft carrier, even fighting against Tier 10 ships, you're going to have a lot of stuff ready. And I kind of credit that to the fact that all of your planes attack at the same time. It gives less chance for your other planes to get stuck in the air waiting to fire again. Therefore, you have more ships going home to base, and you have more ships ready. So that's one of the very good things about this Russian aircraft carrier. Now moving on to the skip bombers. The skip bombers are going to be your primary weapon. They're very good at starting fire. They do a lot of residual splash damage, and they are absolutely devastating against destroyers. You can blap destroyers for more than half their health, damn near all of it, if you get a good drop. Now, getting a good drop is going to take a little bit of practice. It's going to take a destroyer that likes to sail in straight lines, or you can just drop right on top of them too. You don't have to drop from further out. Obviously, if you drop from further out, though, your chances of doing more damage are a lot higher because more of your bombs are going to hit, but you can drop up close, and it's going to do a lot of damage. The thing about this aircraft carrier that makes it viable against tier 10s are these skip bombers. You can launch them far out, so you don't have to worry about AA. Once they drop and they hit their target, they have a very high chance of causing fire. And you know a battleship's usually going to let those fires burn, so you can do a lot of damage in this just off fire alone. And off of the actual bombs themselves, which they do a little bit of damage. And not just a little bit, they do a decent amount of damage. So, yeah, the skip bombers are really good. And in the right hands, this ship is absolutely disgusting. I have the doubloons laying around. I got a lot of them from the super containers, the anniversary event. So I decided to get the Chkalov, and I'm glad I did. Because out of all the tier 8 aircraft carriers, I would say this is probably one of the best ones. If not the best. I think it is definitely up there. Kaga is another good one. I'd put the Kaga up there as well. But if you're looking for an aircraft carrier that's different, if you're looking for an aircraft carrier that offers very good offensive capabilities and can absolutely wreck ships, if you've got good aim with that type of stuff, I really think Chkalov is definitely worth a look. It's a really good aircraft carrier in my opinion. It's got a lot of things to like about it and very few things to hate. And really the only thing you're going to hate about it is if you're on the enemy team and you're being targeted by it, because those skip bombers they can be very, very nasty. So that's just a look at the Chkalov real quick. Again, I give it 2 thumbs up. I think it's definitely worth picking up if you're an aircraft main. If you're not an aircraft main, you're probably not going to pick up aircraft carriers either way. Although I will say for doubloons right now, there's not really any other ships that kind of tickle my fancy. So, I mean, if you're looking to get into aircraft carriers, this is definitely one I would recommend. You can do a lot of damage with it. It's fun. It's got great offensive capability and definitely worth a look. Anyhow, that's my review of the Tier 8 Russian aircraft carrier Chkalov. If you already have it, I want to know what you think about it. And I will catch you all later. Zoop out.